So first of all, this is Michael Zanetti, one of the owners over at Target Trading Academy. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We're in some strange times, as I'm sure you're all well aware. Inflation is crazy. We're seeing interest rates that, we see them going down, but they're not going down fast enough. We're seeing a lot of jobs at risk here, and people are looking for ways to take control of their finances. And many of you are here because trading is a way for you to take control of your finances. And one of the biggest factors with trading is your ability to do it. It's a difficult thing. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And our goal at Target Trading Academy, at Bubba Trading, at Nova Trading Lab, is to make it easier. We're in constant pursuit of figuring out a way to make trading easier so that more people can be successful with it. More people can take control of their finances. They can find their own financial freedom. They can get away from a 9-to-5 experience and find a way to do this, whether it's for a living, for a side hustle, whatever it is. So when we're in this pursuit, we're always looking for highest and best ways to do things. Pat's method, as many of you in this room right now are well aware, is a very successful method. It works. If you follow the methodology, you see our student results, you see our trade results every single day. Win, loss, break even, we post them. The rare losing day that you see, we posted so it's perfectly visible and you guys understand the power of this system. One of the problems with the system is always on the execution side. It's always the human side. It's always the following the rules, sticking to the rules, and being a systematic trader as opposed to letting your emotions seep in, being a human. So our mindset is in the constant pursuit of automation to ease your trading system. And that's what we have here today. We are going to be releasing the executioner. It is a method based on Pat's method. The system trades Pat's method to a T very, very successfully. And we have found that the ease of use with this program is absolutely beautiful. And that's what we're here to share with you. Pat, you want to take the mic over and get right into the details?
Great, thank you. How is my mic? Can you guys hear me clearly? Yes or no? Just give me a Y or an N. Now, I'm going to go over my method very, very briefly. I'm going to give you some examples. And then David Wallace will present our new software. We will take all questions at the end of the presentation. So if you can just let us get through it, we would be more than grateful. First and foremost, there are some new people in here who are not familiar with this method, just so everybody knows. So far in 2024, with student submitted entries based upon our money management and our method, we are 73.30% winners. 2022, we were 75.14%. 2023, 71.21%. With that being said, this is a method based off of my market profile method. We generally take 95 to 98% of our trades against verified edges. What are these verified edges? These high volume areas. These are these orange blocks on the screen if you're not familiar with them. I draw those myself based upon my methodology, my failure, my pain, blues, and agony over the past 20-ish years. I am the only person in this business that posts these levels, which are actually entry signals, the day before the market opens. So you're using those for the following overnight pre-market and following days pit session. Now, many of my students do this manually. We actually force them to do it manually when they start. so they understand what it takes to actually execute these entries. I will show you some examples and the software as well. So for example, this was last week, and according to my methodology, you're looking for specific things. So let's say that the market is below this high volume area, HVA, area of high volume. Whenever price is below that high volume area, the entire high volume area above it is resistance. The market moved up, was resisted. Resistance, when it's traded through, became support. The market moved higher. The market then reverted back down to that HVA edge. You will say, well, why didn't you take that trade? Because the software did not recommend doing so, because you did not have one-to-one reward to risk to that step 2 high print of the session. So it did not throw out a signal for validity. The market then went higher, put in a newer higher high. The market went down to the edge, touched the edge where resistance became support. There's enough reward to risk to the previous swing high. The software threw out a green bar telling you this is an excellent place to go long. We lost the first trade. Why? Because we keep the software on, but we're going to lose sometimes anyway, guys. If you remember, we won roughly 30% plus of the time. We're not going to win every one. This trade was taken. Contracts were taken off equal to that of your initial risk. We were then stopped trailing. What's the important part here? The software makes it much, much easier, but the method is everything. Resistance became support. You have reward to risk to the previous swing high in this case. Take the entry with the correct contract size. Another entry in the down. This is called an inverse. What does this mean? The market is selling off, selling off, selling off. We come up to a high volume area. What did we say before? The entire high volume area below you is support. You're looking to go long. Your previous swing high, the software lit up a valid bar with more than one-to-one reward to risk to the previous step 2 high. The trade was taken. The trade was a winner. What are you looking for here? In the case of an inverse, you're looking for the market to come down to the top of an edge and go long. If you were looking for a reversal short, you'd be looking for exactly the same setup for the market to stop, for the market to go higher, then break through and come back to that edge where you would have gotten a red bar to go short if the entry were valid. Exactly the same thing you would be looking for on this example, a reversal short. The market is heading higher. You get massive buying. Most people would be absolutely terrified to take this entry, but this is the method. The first time there, a red bar identified as a valid entry, we took it, we had a winner. Now, what's the value of this software? The software is telling you if the trade is a valid one-to-one reward to risk, because the first thing you have to ask yourself before you take any trade is this in my best interest? When that bar is colored red for a short, it's absolutely in your best interest. When it's colored green for a long, it's absolutely in your best interest. You're looking to take it if it's valid. What does the software do? The software automatically puts your orders in, and when you're pulled in, manages the entry for you at 80%, or if you choose to set it at 70% of your target. You will take profit. Your trailing stop will move to break even, and then you just allow the software to do the work without you getting involved, which, let me tell you something, guys, once you take yourself out of it, this becomes much, much, much easier. In our opinion, this is our most advanced software. Why so? You have a trade box assigned to each market. You can automatically put the amount of contracts you want in. You can start with a set amount, 6 or 3. With the trend, you would go 6. Against the trend, you would go 3. Of course, for those of you that are not familiar with the method, there's slightly more to it than that. You would choose a trail. Do you want to go all in, all out? Do you want to use a 1-bar stop? Do you want to use a 2-bar stop? That is my method. It is absolutely 100% my method. What would you do? That's entirely up to you. You could choose all in, all out, 1-bar trail, 2-bar trail. Then you just turn it on. So what would it look like? Let's say I want to go short 3 contracts. I'm going to use a 1-bar trail. I am going to hit it. Auto trader is on, waiting for an edge. It's actually waiting to get back to that edge. It's telling you what it's looking for to take an entry. It will then qualify it and take it, or disqualify it immediately once a bar is no longer on the edge, and then it will start looking for the next entry. In my opinion, it is the absolute best ease of use software we have ever come up with. It's almost as if it's non-thinking. This morning, in and of itself, we had a winner as well as some losers. We ended up plus 958 on sim. The market headed down. Inverse long gave us a green bar. We took it. Reward to risk was taken off, and then we were stopped trailing. In the NASDAQ, the same exact thing happened this morning. The market broke down below the high volume edge area, went back up, put in a red bar, entry was taken, winner. It handles all of the work for you. All you have to do is decide how many contracts you want to use, or if you even choose to take the trade. With that being said, I am going to surrender the screen to David. David Wallace is going to go through how it works. So David, let me turn off my mic and let me...
Perfect. Okay. So, like I was saying, my name is David Wallace. I'm a developer here at Target Trading Academy. I've been trading the futures for close to 11 years. I've known Pat since 2016 and have been a student of his ever since. About 2 years ago, I asked Pat if I could take his method that he teaches and put into a program that I could use for my own trading. Fast forward to today, after a couple years of great success with it, we're here now wanting to give this opportunity to everyone to use. So Pat pretty much explained the executioner on how it works, the methodology. It takes everything from what Pat teaches. The executioner does 90% of the thinking for you. So the only thing you need to do is decide when you want to look for trades. So it's fast, it's responsive, the design is simple, it's very easy to use. As you can see from what he's showing there is the auto side. There is a manual side as well. So Pat, if you could disable the auto and bring up the manual.
I actually...
Yep, and then apply on OK, and then turn the bot back on. So with the manual side of it, you have the ability to choose your entry and exit strategies. So you have your long and short button, and you have your reversal, inverse, all in, all out, trail 1 bar, trail 2 bar. So first you select an entry strategy. So go ahead and select reversal. And then you want to select an exit strategy. So in this case, we'll just select all in, all out. After that, you then have the ability to select either a long or short. So when an edge is approaching the bottom of an HVA, then you're looking for a reversal long. So we'll go ahead and select the long when you're ready to take the trade. And at this point, it is waiting for an edge. So you can turn this on ahead of time. You can turn this on when the edge is touching. There's no right or wrong. Once the edge is valid and touches and closes, the order will be placed. And in this case, we're all in, all out. So there will be a limit order to take all of our contracts out once that is touched. If the bar opens and closes outside of the edge, it will disqualify immediately. There's no hesitation, no second guessing. It is to the T exactly what Pat teaches when it comes to disqualification. So now at this moment, you can change the quantity at the top, and Pat did explain it a little bit there. You have your quick quantity buttons. So you have 6 and 3, and you can select those. You can customize those in the settings to whatever you like. There is a half button, so if you choose to half whatever amount, you can select the half button. If you're approaching the edge for the second time, you want to reduce your contract size. It's fully customizable. You can, whatever is to your liking, you can make it. So now on the screen, you can see the highlighted bars. So part of the Executioner Deluxe Edition has these called highlighted bars, and each of them will appear on a reversal long, reversal short, inverse long, inverse short. It's green for long, red for short. This can be changed in the settings as well for color. You can change the color for the inverses if you want to separate them from the reversals. The highlighted bars are used for extra confirmation. So you don't have to use them, but they're there for the extra confirmation, and they do help when it happens. So as you can see, Pat just canceled a trade that was popping up there. So you have the ability to cancel a trade if it hits an edge. And when you're in a trade, you do have the ability to flatten the trade. So that cancel button will be changed to a flatten. So the full control panel there, everything you want to do with the bot is in that control panel. So now, Pat, if you want, go ahead and turn that bot off and bring up the auto trader, and we can go ahead and explain the auto side of it. Okay, perfect. So the auto trader takes away more thinking, so you don't have to do much of it, and the bot takes care of a lot of it. So the only thing you need to select is an exit strategy. So go ahead and select all in, all out. The reversal and inverse buttons are taken care of because the bot will automatically detect which direction it's approaching. So when you're ready to turn it on, go ahead and just select auto trader on. It will then wait for an edge. So at this point, it will take every single edge that is touched. And if you leave the auto trader on, it will continue taking every single edge when it touched, compared to the manual side, where the manual side will reset and you have to physically tell it to look for another edge. So there is an advantage with the auto trader where if the market's moving quickly and you're hitting edge and edge and edge and you know that they're good, the auto trader would be perfect for that scenario where you just have to manage the exit strategy. Now, the auto trader only takes trades off of highlighted bars. So those green and red, if an edge is touched and the bar is not highlighted, the auto trader will not take it. So there is a slight advantage with the auto trader. It does take some extra precaution and looks at a little bit more than the manual side. So now I think if you want, Pat, if you open up the settings, I can just go through the settings really quick, and then after that, I can answer questions. Yeah, so perfect. So at the top there, in the global settings, we have the in excuse me for a second. We have enable at break even at a percentage. So Pat was explaining that earlier, where you can set a percent of where it moves the protective stop to break even at a set percentage. Then below that, you have enable take profit at percent. So that moves your profit limit to a set percentage of your one-to-one reward to risk. And then under that, you have a always on top. So always on top is, it basically places the window, your control panel, the executioner window on top of all other windows. So you can click on your chart, it can remain on top. You can turn that off if you want, but I recommend just leaving it on because you can keep it in front at all times. Underneath that section, we have the auto trader. Now, the auto trader, by default, you can take HVA trades and line trades. So line trades meaning previous days high and low, contract high and low, any past ranges that is drawn with the voila. Those are on by default, but you can select that to your liking. So if you don't want to take line trades and only HVAs, then you can unselect the line when you want. Under that, we have the highlighted bars, which I was explaining earlier. The highlighted bars you can disable. If you disable the highlighted bars, they will still work with the auto trader. So it's just a visual thing in the settings where if you don't want to see them, you can turn them off. But why? You just leave them on. The line, I'm sorry, the trade, each trade type you can change the color for. So you can change the reversal long color, reversal short, inverse long. So if you wanted to separate your inverses with your reversals, you have the ability to do that as well. And then lastly, at the bottom, there's button content, which is basically those quick quantity buttons. So that's where you would customize your quick quantity. So for example, he has 6 and 3. You can make that 2 and 1, 5 and 4, whatever your liking is. It's whatever you want. So that's pretty much the executioner. It's very easy, very simple. Like I said, it does a lot of that hard work and thinking for you. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Does it have a time setting so it will automatically stop trading before the market closes and automatically flattens if we forget? No, it does not have a time setting. You have to turn it off yourself. If you have the auto trader on, turn it off. Do not walk away when it's on. And that applies with the manual.
If I may, Carl, David, if I may for one moment, Carl, it has to be done that way because otherwise you're going to be classified as an auto trader, and that's an entirely different world that I don't want to be in. You have to make the command to turn it on and turn it off, okay?
Can you manually adjust stops once in a trade? Yes, you can manually adjust stops. I don't recommend it because it will move the stop for you. If you're trailing, it will automatically trail it for you. But if for whatever reason you want to move your stop, you can. Can you do 1 bar out with manual? Yes, you can. You can do 1 bar out, and you can also do 2 bar. Does risk management allow for max risk? There is, in this version, there is no risk management or max risk. So if you see a long bar on an edge, if you're using the manual side, and if the risk is too much, then don't take it. But there is no setting for that at the moment. Yes, you can flatten a trade in manual and auto. When you're in a trade, no matter what side you're on, there will be a flattened button and you will see it and you can click it whenever you want and it will exit out of the trade, close it for you. You don't need to worry about being stuck in a trade because it's auto, it's on auto.
Bruce Wheeler, you would need to speak to the consultants for that because everybody has different size accounts. We don't know if you're going to be using only minis. We don't know if you're going to be using micros. It would all depend. They are not volume based. They are reward to risk based. Steve, it's exactly like my method. We're not looking at a specific amount of contracts to come in at an edge. We've proven over the years, as you well know, that it could be the heaviest traded day of the year or the lightest traded day of the year. We're going on the first time, cutting our contract size on the second time. We're not taking a third time. We're not going in the middle of a day. It's based upon the method 100%. Okay? And to set up a separate account via AMP. Well, if you're trading, it's not available, Bruce, on Blue Water, so you would have to set up a separate account.
So at the top of the executioner, I see half and then 2 squares and with numbers. The first number is 6. Is this the base number of contracts? So you can change those numbers to whatever you like. The first number, which is 6, that will be when you open up the program, that will be your default number for the executioner. So if you want to set that first button to a specific number to where like I want to open up the executioner and have it at 3 contracts, then you can set that first number to 3. But you can fully customize them to whatever you like. There's no right or wrong. And then the half button is just an easy to use button to just half contracts that you have. You can strategize around it and just customize however you would like.
Bruce, you can speak to one of the consultants about that. Here's the button content, what he's talking about. You can change everything right there, guys. And it will automatically change when you open up the box. Any more questions? Excellent. Thank you, Joe. Now, I can tell you guys and this all depends on what kind of trader you are. I generally do everything manually. You're very welcome, Bruce. But that auto trader is really ease of use. It's a slightly different set of skills, and yes, we'll train you. We're going to train you on it, okay? There's a manual. There's all kinds of stuff that comes with this, okay? All it is a different set of skills. You still have to know the method. What does that mean? If you're looking to take a trade, guys, you got to open up the screen. Look to your left. Have you been there in the session, okay? So, for example, we did not actually touch that edge. That was the first time we touched the edge above us, which would tell you what? It's the first time there. It's counter trend. You would go to 3 contracts instead of 6, or 2 instead of 4, or 1 instead of 2. You still got to open up the chart. You still got to look to the left. You still have to make the choice. Auto trade does not mean you just open it and let it go. Is everybody clear with this, yes or no? Now, the manual version is only going to operate when you turn it on. Clear? Only. So if you're looking for reversals long, and what Bruce was saying before, he was, not Bruce, Mr. Herman was saying before was, I think I had the ES also running on a different chart, so it kind of canceled each other out. I had to go into the settings and turn it off, which I did not do. What's going to end up happening is the auto took over and it was looking for an inverse short. If I had reversal long on, it would only look for the market to come in and take a long. If it went all the way down to that edge, it would only be looking for a long. Is everybody clear with that? It's only going to look what it's programmed to look for. The auto trader will do what? It'll look for that inverse. It will take that inverse. When it comes up again, you can see that bar is completely out of the HVA edge. It's not going to take anything. It'll disqualify the inverse, which all you would do is just cancel it. If it threw an order out, wait till it got up here, and then came down, turn it back on, and then it'll look for a reversal long all by itself. Clear? All it is it's a small skill set to learn. That's it. You know, some of you are like me, you're control freaks, you want to be in charge of every freaking trade that's taken. That's fine. Some of you don't want to deal with that. You just want to deal with opening a chart up, looking to your left, seeing how many times it's been there, and then choosing whether you want to take it or not. Clear? It's not going to be in this webinar, Bruce. It's going to be, you can call a consultant, and they'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Let's see here. Of course, what does Carl Wessel send? I'm kind of scared whenever Carl sends me something. But are there any more questions at this point? Questions, anyone?
Yeah, so someone asked, does it operate with manual drawn HVAs or does it require voila? You can do manual and it can also take voila.
Fletcher, to give you an example, I have voila. All it's doing is projecting from the drawings that I make. It's not coded in there to take a specific trade, meaning you don't have to have voila to have this thing work. You're welcome. Any more questions? Hold on. Now, while we were going through the presentation, Randall set in an entry on the executioner. Swing low, step 2. Swing bar, lit up red, 1-to-1 reward to risk. Took the entry micro ES. Any more questions? Anyone about the program? All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. If you've got any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Speak to your consultants. Oh, thank you, Bob. We appreciate it all. All right, everybody. Thank you very, very much. Have a phenomenal day. For those of you in the room, we'll see you in a few minutes. Absolutely. For example, Maria, when you take, let's say you take something with 3, it's already programmed, or take 6, okay? It can take 4 off, let 2 run. It's very programmable.
Order submitted.
Okay? Rob Eels, you're very welcome. This is the easiest ease of use I've ever used. Any more questions? Anyone? David, you are very, very welcome. All right, everybody, thank you very much. That is it for us. I will be back in the room pretty soon. We have anyone who already has it, we have an update for you tomorrow. How about that? Phenomenal, phenomenal, great. That's great news. Always updating things, staying on top of stuff. All right, guys, I'll be back in a few. Thank you very, very much, and have a great day.